Oh, God, I keep saying that fucking Coca-Cola ad. Go away. My Twitter. I don't want you. I don't want you there. And then you've just the photo of Elon and Trump with McDonald's is also on my timeline again. The world is in such a good place. What a lovely place to be in right now.
So fruitful and progressive.
Oh, when I finish this, I'm gonna have a fucking massive lunch because we've been now doing this for 5 hours now. It's the most amount of content we've watched in separate recordings, I guess you could say, because we obviously watched all of Act 1, 2, and 3 in one go. Hello, everyone! It's time for the finale of Act 1 with episode 3 of Arcane. I am joined by Connor, as always. He's here. He's loving it. He's enjoying it. We're here, live, in person, coming at you on the channel. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. We're here for the final episode of Act 3. No, that's later. We're here for end of Act 1 of Season 2 of Arcane. 2 episodes have been overall a mixed bag. Episode 1 was, there's quite a few problems, a lot of plot armor, a very strange character choice we did not agree with, and dialogue just not being up to snuff as it normally is. Episode 2 was an improvement. Still more can be done, though. I think we can definitely say that so far.
We haven't had a belter yet.
No. And it felt like last season, it felt like it was close to belters in pretty much every episode. Especially when you look back on, like, episode 1 and 2, when you watch them, at the time, you could probably be, like, maybe having the similar feelings to, like, episode 2. But then when you rewatch them, you realise, like, how strong they are.
Yeah.
So I feel like...
In terms of belters, there's, like, episode 3, episode 6, and then there's, like, 2 of them from Act 3, and I can't remember which ones they are.
It was, like, 8 and 9, I'd say. Because I think the last episode had, like, the scene with Jace. It obviously had the tea party scene. Previous episode had a lot of good stuff. 7 was really good. Like, all the episodes I think were close to belters, but, like, episode 3 was just, like, man, that was, like, a high bar. Don't know if the episode today will be able to get to that, but I imagine there's going to be some heavy stuff going on in this episode. I'd be surprised if it didn't. Because, 3-act structure. This is the finale of Act 1. So I imagine there's going to be something massive happening and we're going to be shocked and awed and in disbelief.
The one request I have for this episode is have at least one scene where Vi talks about joining the Enforcer.
That would be one thing. I imagine, with the episode's title that we found out in reference to getting a certain name right, I imagine there will be a meeting of Jinx and Vi, because we've not had that yet since the end of Season 1. We've been close last episode, but they've not talked to each other yet since Jinx committed a terrorist act. Yeah, so hoping this will be a good finale for the first act, so we can be a bit more confident going into Act 2 when we eventually get to that. So yeah, that's a requirement you have. I think I also would like more character development with certain other characters, some other characters who haven't had a lot more time to develop. We've had a lot of new characters this season so far in the first 2 episodes. One already is dead with the rat guy. He's already dead. And obviously we got the new Enforcer characters. We had like 3 of them. Big Guy Drunk, Maddie, and then Quiet Guy. That's pretty much it so far. So hopefully we get some time with them to know them, and hopefully they become worthwhile characters. But as you said, hopefully Vi is conflicted with being an Enforcer, so there will be at least that. But I guess we've kind of said everything in the last episode, so I guess we should just get into this episode, Connor. Hey, should we?
Yeah.
Alrighty. It's time for episode 3 of Season 2. Ba-dum. Ba-dum-tsh.
But remember, you're a Kiraman.
I will lead a strike team into Zorn with 3 objectives. Locate Jinx, dismantle Shimmer, and neutralize any agent
as we
still loyal to
saw
Silco.
first episode, they have made weapons from Hex Tech.
The rise of industry inefficiency has led to the air becoming increasingly toxic. They call it the Grey.
Ooh, okay. That's what we've been seeing then.
Cool.
bet that I'm making friends with my demons.
I love prototype sketches.
As always, another banger of a song.
This is great.
It's got like a Borderlands feel to it as well. Not the terrible movie that came out, but you know, the game. She's becoming vengeful and angry. I wonder who that is. Oh, bless you. Probably shouldn't just rush in, probably. Yeah, there you go. Not at all creepy. Very cool intro again. Yeah, you're right with the fact that they're all very in, like, plain clothes in this intro.
Yeah, so as I said, their traumas and emotions are naked for the world to see.
What I noticed there is Mel and Mel's mum are both in, like, the same, like, chair/sofa. That's very interesting.
So you know, like when a rapper does a very vulnerable music video and they wear a singlet?
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing, right?
Oh, it's the guy from the second episode. He went in.
Thanks. Oh, I decided it was time for me to retire.
Looks more like someone decided to retire you.
Yeah, well, timing was never my strong. Ow, sorry.
He is, like, badly infected.
Tell us how you wound up here.
Hey, wait. Jinx is off the rails, even for her. She was headed towards the old tunnels.
Cuff him.
Hi! I told you everything I know!
But I was good to you. Yeah, you're still gonna go to jail, lad. She's very in officer mode.
So tell me, Amara, what does a member of Piltover's Merchant Guild want from me?
Oh, look, it's one of the people Jace had to deal with. Remember that scene in the theater?
You know, Counselor Madara's right. The Hex Gates are only the beginning. And as a supporter of House Talus, you'd be the first in line to any of our advancements.
How can I say no to such an auspicious offer?
Yes.
Yeah, she was one of them.
I'm not here representing the guild. I've come here to settle a debt. What you've stolen is more precious than any gold.
Oh, Jesus.
My son is dead. Is that not enough to sate your bloodlust?
I haven't insulted your intelligence, Ambassa. Do not insult mine. We know what you're chasing in Piltover. We will not allow it.
Allow? Thank you. Your visit only confirms my suspicions. Try to stop me, insolent witch!
Oh, Jesus.
My death means nothing. You should have given up the feud.
You have no inkling what family is to me.
God, her face. Oh, Jesus. Ow.
Oh my God.
Ow. So,
That reminds
she
me of
obviously...
something from Better Call Saul.
Obviously, we know about her brother fucking over some people, and that's why she needed the army last season, and Hex Tech. That is developing, certainly.
I think we should cut the others loose. Listen, if that Henon idiot is telling the truth, Jinx is gonna have surprises in store for us.
I can't let her get away again. Are you sure you're
My
ready?
sister is gone. There's only Jinx now. I'm so sorry about your mother. I'm sorry I can't bring her back, but please, just... Everyone in my life has changed. Promise me you won't change.
Hey, woo, lesbians.
Yeah.
Finally.
Good.
Oh, yeah, woo, we're doing it right on the staircase. Oh my God, imagine they walked in on them. Finally, hey. Oh god, they're using shimmer on his legs. That totally won't go, you know, badly.
Doesn't seem legal either.
No.
Out.
What an interesting looking woman.
Do you realize how easy it was for me to track you down here?
Waiting for an update on Princess Kiraman's underground escapades. She's gotten no closer to Jinx.
Perhaps if you hadn't let a child overpower you in your own chamber.
It's the name. It bewitches people. You should know. Do you really think Mel could have succeeded with it?
Never speak ill of my family.
Keep my daughter's name out your fucking mouth.
It's time. Rally every house and family with even a modicum of influence.
For certain? Yes, of course. Whatever you need.
There is another matter concerning your guild merchant, Amara.
She's dead. I fucking killed her.
It's about time we get some time with her.
Good to see you again, Lest.
I'm out. Keeping an eye on a counselor with peculiar tastes doesn't rattle me.
Oh, she takes drugs.
You met my mother. What did she want
I
from
wonder
you?
if that's a shimmer cigarette.
We both know you heard every word.
It is as well.
I'm sorry, but I really can't.
Everything with my mother is a calculated risk. I'd love to promise your safety, but I can't make any assurances other than this. If my mother gets what she wants, the whole city will suffer. And right now, you're the only one who can stand in her way.
Aiming to take over and put Sallow in the hot seat, but we know who's really pulling the strings. I caught a name, Amara. I don't know what you make of that. Like a cat backed into a corner.
Oh my god, she's bad, man. I always love the 2D animation blended in.
Yeah, the Disney cartoon.
Yeah.
Animation. Old Disney.
Between our world. Pass me a tome. Pass me a tome. There, you sighed. Still a kind of language. A sound, but not words. Something raw, natural. That's wild runes.
That's a cool explanation. I like that.
Most wild runes are
sort of like its fingerprints. That pattern is on my tree because you pissed the Arcane off with all your demands?
Oh, the lad may be onto something. Every action sparks a reaction. Oh, ball sockets.
Do you think this could actually be a result
Ball
of these
sockets. Feels like we're slowly building up to a big fight with these enforcers.
I love the way Gas looks in this show.
Yeah.
Your source panned out. I've confirmed Sallow
Good framing that.
with member. I promise I wouldn't have missed it. It's just such a bold move, and at this moment, it's
foolish.
You sometimes forget that this is animation with how real everyone looks and their facial expressions.
Yeah. Well,
I did for a second there.
I think she is one of the best looking animations in the show.
There's a rat's nest.
This is still part of the Hex Gates? We must be at least 200 feet below the surface.
I'm glad we're getting more of these guys this episode.
Yeah.
I want them way more. Look at that Vander on the right there with Vi and Powder as kids. She's just drawn their entire childhood and story.
If you see an opening, take the shot.
So they send the other enforcers back, so they've gone on their own, so she's done what Vi said. Whoa, that's awesome. That looks so cool. This looks so fucking cool.
Was installed above ground.
Reminds me of X-Men.
It does actually, yeah. I was also going to say the hyperbolic time chamber from Dragon Ball.
You know, you say we should feel like we're all one. Remember it, Rance. We're the ones that get played. What the?
God, this looks so good. I love how this all looks.
Jinx! Finally got the name right.
Yes, name of the episode.
Guess there really
I
isn't
like
a
how they're
crack in the
intercutting
earth where
as
you
well.
wouldn't find me. Miners trapped underground, air running thin. But then, some wispy wind woman wafts to their rescue.
God, she's such a great voice actor. It's insane.
Wild, the kind of crap people get up to when you choke them out. We use the Grey to clear the streets. Never thought my sister would turn Bluebelly. 'Cause no matter what I do, I just can't seem to die.
It's obviously not her.
Sorry too.
It's behind her. It's obviously not her.
It looks like a shade.
Yeah. It looks like a mirror. Yep. I'm wondering how she did that though.
I'm ready.
Oh, lovely. That was a good cut. Here we go. Oh, look at that shot! Oh, that was so good.
Oh, lovely.
That was orgasmic.
A wild rune?
I have no idea what that is.
Wow, that looks so cool. They really stepped up in terms of like visuals.
It's like the coolest looking cancer cell.
Yeah. There we go. It's a trap. God damn, the songs as well have just been all hits as well. I'm not sure about that. Considering a bullet went through it, I guess it was X-Tech, but fucking hell, the visuals in this place especially, it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh! Oh, was his weapon upgraded?
Oh, that was lovely.
What is going on with the weapons? Oh my god! Yeah, they did that at the worst time when they were fighting. You're just gonna shoot a rocket launcher at her?
Put a shark's head.
Whoa! Oh, fucking hell. Uh-oh. She hasn't used the shield yet with those gloves, even though that's a thing. Oh my god! Oh my god! Jesus Christ! This is fucking insane!
What a transition.
Yeah. Oh my word. Oh! Imagine she shoots Vi. How will that fare? Oh, her finger! Oh god! Not the middle finger. Fucking punch her.
I'm glad it's you. Had to be you.
Uh-oh. Oh, I thought she was gonna punch the kid. Oh my god. Imagine she fucking just walloped the kids. Jesus. Oh, Jesus! Oh, it did graze her.
What are you? Get off me! Get away from her!
Kate,
Move! Scram, kid!
Kate, she's a child. Move!
Kate.
Oh, Jesus! She did say take the shot. Fucking hell. There is a child on her, Cat. She's gonna be...
No, this isn't how it's supposed to.
Oh god. Whoa! This seems like this is not going to go well. Oh, what if Topside becomes the Undercity and all that is like Fisher?
Oh my word.
Oh no. Oh god. That sounded gross.
Yeah. Hey, so you thought the rocket was a big deal?
How about we infect the entire city? Oh look, the slums are happy because they're going to become like them. Alright, now for this scene.
I was a kid. What have you missed? I wasn't going to miss. I keep telling myself that you're different. But you're not. It's her blood in your veins.
Then why are you the one acting like her?
It's all very colourful.
Yeah. Maybe it's just, you know, a splosh of paint.
It does look cool.
Yeah. Bring some colour to the city. Oh god. Oh my god, she's gonna
Oh, Jesus.
I thought she was gonna like snap her neck. Oh dear. Well, she's been taken.
Good evening. Yesterday, I met with your guild merchant, Amara. We spoke of rebuilding, restoring this great city to its former glory. When 2 Zornite assassins fell upon us, I tried to save her, but the blade pierced her heart.
Lie.
Our families should not
That's what we do, we lie.
Wrath must be met with wrath. You must declare martial law. Appoint a general to lead until this threat is vanquished. Until all our families are safe. I could only be referring to Caitlin Kiraman.
Vengeance for your son.
Oh my. Oh my god, she organized the attack.
Wow.
So she oh my. She's an awful, awful person. She blamed the death of Laura or whatever on Zorn instead of her own problems and organized the attack. Oh wow. She is horrible. She's a horrible, horrible person.
Yep, she's Palpatined her way.
She did what she could to rise to power on top of Piltover. Didn't think we'd be getting a Caitlyn could becoming evil arc, but certainly interesting.
Well, she's certainly tempted by it.
Yeah. Isn't that Silco's coat? It looks like it.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it actually is.
Yeah, it is Silco's coat.
Oh, that's cool. The little feint of it. Jesus. Every last scene has been this. The wolf is alive. I've seen this before. This was the teaser. The first ever teaser for Season 2. Oh boy. Right. Act 1 is complete. This episode in particular, what are your thoughts?
Where do I even start?
visually,
Where
this was insane.
Yeah, where do I even start with this? This is so eventful.
It was very eventful. Definitely.
I mean, okay, I'll say this: they didn't fulfill my request. However, they did a lot of other things.
Yeah, they did do a lot of other things. Yeah, the big thing is, like, I guess we're not just going to get an explanation of why Vi has changed her mind on Enforcers so easily. So that's a pretty big issue that I don't think is going to be resolved, unfortunately. Very quick of a character to do that, and then get betrayed again by Enforcers, essentially. Especially by someone she clearly loved, and, you know, is just put to the side like she's nothing. Like she was always part of the slums.
I think we are seeing a very big difference in moral philosophy between Vi and Caitlin.
Oh yeah, sure.
Caitlin is driven by, obviously, vengeance, right?
Yeah.
But also, in her mind, the ends justify the means. Whereas Vi
potentially killing a child, a small child, is a good enough reason to make sure that Jinx stays dead.
And it's interesting because she sets it up saying, if you have a clear shot, do it, and then she stops her, which makes Caitlin feel very confused. And that then makes it a lot easier for the ending to happen.
It does. It's interesting, definitely, the way events played out. If I wasn't expecting, I think, this to happen in these first 3 episodes. I guess the big reveal at the end here is Mel's mum. I can never remember her name either. I'm really bad with that. She organised pretty much everything. She did everything she could to get on top of Piltover when it was at its weakest. Organised the attack, which was led by the ginger woman whose son died. You know, she used that to win over, I guess, the crowd, because she brought in her own soldiers. They saved them all, so she could be trusted to get on top, and is elected.
The idea is that, the idea of rising to the top, and this is something that happens a lot in, you know, fascism and whatnot, is you create chaos without people understanding that you're the perpetrator, and then you present yourself as the person who can restore order. And it makes you look a lot more desirable.
The thing I'm thinking about is I'm wondering what she... Does she want her daughter to die? Because she very much could have died in that very easily. And I have I feel like the idea is that she wants her to be a part of this. So that's a bit of a question mark I have over this plan. I think the idea of it, I'm into. I think there are things about it that I think execution-wise could have been a lot better. I really like the death at the beginning of the episode that she did, which was involved with her family and her son fucking things over, and that coming here, and the attempted assassination or whatever. She used that to blame Zorn. She said 2 Zornite assassins came in and killed her. So now that's just fueling even more their hatred for Zorn, the Undercity. I think is very interesting. Says a lot about her, that she is just going to do everything in her power to get on top and get what she needs and wants. Because she's doing all of this because of what happened with her and those people, the Black Rose or whatever they're called. It's all to do with that, which I think is probably going to be
It's another pen to drop when her daughter sort of figures it out.
She's now been kidnapped and is now missing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I just thought, bloody hell, in terms of visuals, that whole scene with Jace and Echo and Heimerdinger.
Oh, in terms of visuals, that's like one of the visually intense scenes they've done. Like how they just did all that. Just my God.
And I loved the way that, in terms of editing, the way they intercutted between the 2 scenes.
Yeah, you had all the weapons changing. You had the intercutting between scenes. You had the transitions that they had. That was all bloody really well done. I'm wondering where... So the thing that happened at the end of the episode with Catelyn, now being, elected, I I'm really wondering where Jace is and why he wasn't there. Unless they're like trapped in this thing, if that's what's happened. They're like trapped in the like.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously
maybe
his partner is trapped in something.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think she's just been kidnapped. I think is what happened, and that ability they have is like, they brought her to them, I'm assuming that's what's happened.
Yeah. Also, we didn't see Victor at all this episode.
Yeah, we didn't actually. So yeah, he's only been in episode 2, technically, realistically.
So something might have been happening behind the scenes with him that we don't know yet.
Imagine that's going to be something very interesting to see going forward. I wonder if there'll be a time jump like last season. I don't think there will be, considering it's an impending war.
Possibly a small one, but not a massive one.
Yeah, exactly. So you have all of that is very interesting.
One thing that's quite a bit of a roller coaster is that Vi and Caitlin had their kiss and breakup in the same episode.
This is what I was about to get to. Again, I feel like all these ideas are really cool and interesting. I think the execution of a lot of these are very misplaced, and it feels like this entire first act was very rushed.
Yeah, I almost wonder if 4 episodes would have been better for this.
I think they wanted to keep the tradition of what they were doing last season. So I feel like what they needed to do is rework it so it isn't like completely rushed. It's what I'm hoping is that they have not rushed things because they were only doing 2 seasons. Because season 1 felt very well paced, and it never felt like it rushed. It always took its time and let things develop and go scene by scene, slowly have small developments, and then eventually you get to big moments where something massively changes. This season, at least just this act, this next 2 acts could be a lot better, because this feels like it's doing groundwork for the impending war and then characters being in certain relationships with each other. The Catelyn Vi stuff feels like it's insanely rushed. All that build-up of season 1, you get the little hint in this first episode in this season, in episode 1. She then joins the Enforcers. We don't really get anything in episode 2. They then finally kiss and then massively fall out and break up. Yeah, it feels very rushed, all of that, when you condense it into, realistically, like 10 minutes of scenes.
Yeah,
all of that was pretty much done in 10 minutes, realistically, in all the scenes they were in and the dialogue they had with each other. Because I feel like what should have happened is Vi isn't a part of the Enforcers, but she is like there. She's following them and she's trying to find Jinx to stop her on her own. This all then happens. I guess you could have Vi swoop in, try and save the kid, but Caitlyn just can't stop herself. It'd be the same amount of time, but more natural as a breakup, because from Catelyn's point of view, it'd be Vi just swooping in and just saving Powder in her eyes, saving Jinx, and she would feel incredibly betrayed, if you get what I'm saying. I feel like,
yeah, I do,
and it would fix the issue that Vi of being the Enforcers just doesn't work. That would have fixed a lot. Yeah, I'm not sure this was the right pathing to go with Caitlyn and Vi in general. As you said, it feels very rushed, and we did not get a lot of time to build to their eventual split, because they need to split to realistically have Caitlyn be, I guess, whatever title she is over Piltover. Like, she's now in charge. So, yeah, in terms of the execution, I'm not overly pleased. It's a bit disappointing. It's very disappointing, because that was like a really strong part of season 1 and the slow build-up of them.
Well, there's a lot of really strong ingredients in there, but they're not formed as well.
Yeah, I would agree. One thing I felt very frustrated by was you had the new characters. You had the drunk guy, who I guess is sobered up now, and then you had Maddie. We've literally had one scene of those two, pretty much, and one of them seemingly has left the Enforcers, and the other is like super into this, beating their chest in support of Catelyn. I imagine we'll get more of them in the next 2 acts.
Oh, my sweet summer child.
It feels like it's just like summary of like, we didn't really get any of you two, and yet you've had already this massive change in your lives, and like, we could have probably gotten more. All the Vi stuff being part of the Enforcers, you can have scenes with them, and we get to know them as people, and their relationships. And then this moment we have in episode 3 feels a bit more impactful. Even if they're side characters, it would feel more earned and natural, if you get what I'm saying. Yeah, it's a strange one. It really is. I think this episode, I feel like it feels a bit like, not on the same level, it's nowhere near as bad, but it feels a lot like season 6, episode 10 of Game of Thrones, where all the pieces are there and the sort of framework is like impressive. The execution is not there, but the potential was like, it could have been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, because I
this
do
feels
feel
a
like
similar sort of way.
Well, I do feel like they were trying to go for a similar style to the episode 3 from season 1 in the way that they did the episode.
I get what you mean, yeah.
Parallels to each other. They have some parallels, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think I get what you mean there, yeah. I just feel like that was more naturally earned through the context, and this doesn't feel like that. As we said, I think it's rushed. That's disappointing because I feel like the Vi and Jinx stuff was pretty good, but they didn't really talk about the fact that Vi is now becoming an enforcer, so that's disappointing as well.
That's right.
That wasn't talked about.
Right.
Like, it was referred to once by Jinx, and that was kind of it. Would have thought Jinx would flip the fuck out. I know she wanted to kill her sister, but I would imagine she would have flipped the fuck out and just be like, how can you be an enforcer after everything they did to us? Everything they did to you, to me, to Vanda. Imagine, like, all that. How interesting that would have been. Even, like, she could even said, even to Silco, you know.
Yes, and that's an example of the in-between bits that I'm missing. I'm feeling
that's the part that made season 1 of Arcane, like, that was the strongest part of the show, I would say, was the interconnected, like, narrative of events that happen between characters, and then things happening and having consequences, and people, like, certain characters' actions are referred to in detail by other characters, and then that would begin more consequences. This doesn't feel like it's doing that, and that's a bit of a problem and is a real shame. So, like, one of my favourite parts of season 1 was, like, this kind of stuff, and then it's just not here for the part that, you know, it really should be. Like, it feels like the Caitlyn, Jinx, and Vi stuff has the potential to be awesome, and it was at best meh. It feels like there's so much missing, and that's kind of the real shame. So, and that's kind of the crux of the episode as well. That's like the heartbeat of the episode, I think.
What's strange about it as well is that these episodes have the same runtime, but they feel so much shorter.
And that's sort of like, the big thing I said about last season was like, it has these 40-minute episodes, but so much is happening, and then so much is like naturally being built to.
There's so much density in the episodes.
Yeah, it's like, oof. Man, it's really like, I'm not angry, but I'm just really disappointed in some aspects of this first act when it comes to the couple of the main characters. So yeah, I think we can say that the Vi, Caitlyn, and Jinx stuff, there's some decent stuff here in these 3 episodes, but man, it needed to be changed and better paced, because this is really rushed in terms of some aspects of this.
Needing to fit a lot into 3 episodes is the reason this has happened, or if it's something else. And I'm curious to see if Act 2 handles it differently.
Hope it improves. That's for certain. I guess we can talk about other stuff that happened this episode. We obviously briefly talked about Mel being kidnapped. I imagine that's going to be a big part of the next act, is that she's hostage.
Yeah,
and then
I assume we're gonna get some psychedelic stuff in Act 2.
Yeah, I imagine that eventually Mel's mum will be like proven as a fraud in a sense, like she's a liar. She lies to people to gain power and respect when she's like just absolutely terrible. She organized the entire ambush just after this horrible act that happened to the city to rise to power and get her soldiers into the city. I imagine they'll effectively replace the enforcers in some regards. I imagine that's going to be the idea.
We still didn't get Heimerdiger's reaction to anything that happened.
No, that's again another issue. It just feels like he doesn't know what's going on, really, which is really strange. I don't understand why they've not had a scene of him acknowledging the fact that a lot of his like lifelong friends have died and that the city was under attack. It seems such a strange thing not to include. But again, I think one of the stronger parts of the episode was everything with Jace. I really enjoyed all that. Them talking about like the tree and sort of like the comparison of like when you're experts at something else and you ask them, hey, can you do this or give me that? And they have no idea what they're talking about. I actually really enjoyed that exchange of like describing that kind of stuff. I thought that was very neat. And obviously when they went underground to what I guess is like, the core of the Hex core or whatever, they would have explained it in detail.
The planet core.
Yeah. That in visually, that was incredible. As you said, it's a lot like the X-Men room from X-Men. And it reminded me of the hyperbolic time chamber from Dragon Ball Z for some reason.
Yes, there's also a room in the film Brazil, which stars Jonathan Pryce from the 80s that has similar to that.
Yeah, the visuals are all was just incredible. And I really enjoyed... I really like the dynamic between Echo and Jace. I think there's some awesome stuff there.
Yeah, it's
as I said, Jace can pretty much have a great dialogue conversation with like every character. It's crazy. It's almost as if I was right.
Yes. Well, it's probably because he's such a centerpiece to so many events.
He is really he's a big reason why everything to do with Hextech has happened. Like he is like the main part of it.
Because of that, he can have a conversation with anyone, and there's something to talk about.
Exactly. They show briefly like that scene from the beginning of episode 2, where when he was younger, his mum was saved by one of like those the arcane like wizard kind of people. That person at the beginning. They briefly showed that in that sort of like vision kind of thing in this episode. Because of this, he can have conversations with everybody about it. Because it's such a centerpiece to the show. Like you said last episode, he never asked for any of this. He just wanted to do good. But unfortunately, this thing has like caused so much pain and destruction. So he has to deal with all that. So I just find his conversations and scenes just so interesting. I love him. He's such a good character. And he's like such a good person who's trying to do his best.
Very interested to see what they do with Victor.
Yeah, because he wasn't in this episode. Victor was not in this episode, and I imagine that's going to be a big part of like the Undercity going forward. Maybe I imagine I don't think there'll be a massive time jump, but maybe like I could see like at least a month or so maybe passes. Life has been established under this new authority, and the city is very different. And then you can have the Undercity almost in this weird like thriving stage with like everything doing with Victor. Maybe that could be a possibility.
Well, they're also as you say with the whole big cloudy rainbow attack. It's subverting the division between the two. And also I do think it was interesting the way Jinx said this is not how it was supposed to happen. So she had a plan to do this, but it
was very much the kid. Like she doesn't actually care about the kid, but the kid is obviously a kid and is going to attach themselves to Jinx because of everything that happened last episode. So
yeah,
I'm very interested in that going forward. Their dynamic. So yeah, it's what else was there this episode? You have the really cool opening with the Etch-a-Sketch kind of stuff or whatever, the architecture.
I love that.
That was really cool.
Doing any of the sketching stuff in this show is so good.
The opening like stuff with the enforcers and sort of the art style of it was really cool, very comic booky.
It reminded me of like a side scroller game.
Yeah, it right. If you look up anything Borderlands, it kind of reminds me of that. Again, not the movie, the game, any of the games. Though I hear that Borderlands 3 is not good for its story or dialogue. So you had the guy at the beginning who was in the beginning of the second episode, who was in like. We learned that the gas is called the Grey, and the enforcers are using it. Not great for them, because the guy looked fucked up from it. He looked really rough from having to be in that for probably a long time. So I'm wondering if that we had that as we mentioned before, that scene with Mel's mum, with Amara, or whatever she was called. She was obviously in last season with the scene with Jace, but I wonder if she was possessed by this thing, this like red thing that is because it also took over Mel's assistant, I think, briefly. So it's probably this weird like Black Rose thing is like a possession thing / people, maybe, or power they have.
Trying to fix the legs with Shimmer as well.
Yeah, we also had that. One of the guys on the council is trying to get his legs fixed with Shimmer, which their Mel was given, but it's now actually left in her office when she was kidnapped.
Yeah,
so that's going to be important.
Shimmer was a thing too.
Yes, Shimmer cigarettes. Or Shimmer vapes, maybe. I don't know.
You want to buy some death sticks?
Want to buy some death sticks? I'm gonna go home and rethink my life.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. Vaguely. Again, visuals are great, animations, facial expressions. We mentioned it briefly for one scene.
Music,
you forget how good this all looks, and that is animated sometimes. It's that good. Yeah, again, I think music throughout the entire show has been excellent. This 3 episodes, especially, the music has been insanely good.
And as you said with the facial expressions, I think Mel's character design is one of the best.
Oh yeah, she's great. She's not only is she gorgeous, but she looks very real.
That's the thing, is like people say like, oh, being attracted to cartoons is weird, and in most cases I do think it's funny, but with Arcane, they're so humanoid.
Everybody in this show is very attractive.
Yeah, and that's a plot hole, because that's not likely to happen, is it?
Hey, maybe you can say Silco was ugly, but even then he was relatively well groomed, slim.
He had Riz though.
He had Riz. Silco had Riz.
Yeah.
In a sense, he did. He was a very good leader for what he wanted to do.
To be fair, I believe it was in episode 2 in the Undercity. There was a couple, and the husband was very ugly. So there is that.
There are ugly people in this show, definitely.
There are ugly people in the Undercity mainly.
Like yeah. Yeah.
But before he was fixed by Victor.
Mm-hmm. Again, the direction-wise, all these episodes have been very well done. The cinematography is awesome. Direction great. Acting amazing. The main issue I'm having is the writing, and that's kind of the crux of why I think this show is so great. So it is a bit of a shame that the writing at the moment is kind of suffering. It's not... The one thing I will say, it's not awful. I just think there's a lot of issues, but it's not like awful. We're not guys, we're not at Chibnall, right? Calm down. We're in I would say a very rough patch. That can be fixed, but I think for this act I think it's just summarized that the writing has taken a hit. I think we can both agree that the writing is not as strong as it used to be, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah, for Arcane standards, it's not great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for season 1 compared to season 1, it is a very noticeable dip in writing. Still very enjoyable though. The show is still very enjoyable to watch. I'm just a little bit frustrated with the writing at the moment, and I hope. And I think, and we've said this after every episode, but it can absolutely recover. It can get a lot stronger and be much better. So we will hope when we get to...
I'm hoping that the reason why this act is the way it is because they planned out a lot of plot points that they needed to cover. And that Act 2 will be more, like, paced more normally and allow them to flesh things out properly.
Yeah, exactly. They've got over 2 hours worth of story to tell. When we get to Act 2, I think they can recover. They can, and they can even fix things in this act. That is certainly a possibility. Long way to go. There's 6 more episodes. So, and the show is wrapping up with these next 6 episodes. So, we need to hopefully it will improve, and I think it can.
I suspect Act 2 will be very important though. Because
I would agree, yeah. I think it's going to be very important.
Because it has to do a lot of heavy lifting to set up Act 3.
Mm-hmm. Which is, the end of the show. So it's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of events going to happen, but hopefully a lot more smoothly than this act.
It's like if we only had 1 act left, it's very difficult to course correct when you're low on time.
Yeah, I'd be very worried.
Because Act 2 is in front of us, there's still time to do it right.
And obviously, at the time we're doing the this episode, the next 3 episodes are out, and we will get to them eventually. Act 3 isn't out yet, so no one actually knows how this is going to end. So hopefully these next 6 episodes are much improvement on the overall of this act. I think all the titles as well for the episodes have been very suited to the episodes. So there's that. I also, actually, one thing I did like was Jinx going, "I'm glad it's you, I'm ready. It had to be you." That was a good little moment that I liked.
Once again, another great ingredient that's been thrown together with the others.
Indeed, yeah. I don't hate this first act. I'm just quite disappointed with what I thought could have been with this.
I think
all this stuff.
For me, episode 3, I'd probably give a 6.
Yeah, so I would also probably say either a 6 or a 5. I think this is better than episode 1, but it's worse than episode 2. Visually, I think it's like up there with one of the best episodes they've done. I think the animation and the cinematography was like insanely good. Again, a lot with the eyes are like insane when you look at them and you see how much is going on inside their heads, pretty much. It's always fun to watch those kind of scenes and those expressions. But yeah, I guess that is indeed Act 1 of ARCANE Season 2. Up next, I will check what the episode title is called, so we can look forward to it and maybe a little bit of speculation. The next episode is called Paint the Town Blue.
That is a play on Paint the Town Green, Paint the Town Red. So this is different. I suspect Jinx will have quite the role in episode 4.
Indeed.
That's my guess.
Yeah, indeed. I think so. I think that can definitely happen. But yeah, that will be next episode. 3 episodes next time.
You know what?
Yeah.
I just had a deep thought. So I was immediately thinking of like just paint in general. But blue is a metaphor for depression. So it's possible that it actually means paint the town with depression.
But that will be next time. Act 1 officially in the books. 2 more to go. I am hopeful it will improve. And it can. It definitely can. But yeah, good stuff here and there. Overall, I think I'd say Act 1 is like around a 5 or a 6. I'd probably say a solid 6.
I am left with a sense of optimism.
Yeah. Yeah. That was episode 3 of season 2 of ARCANE. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Pass me a tome. 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 There.
What'd you bring me?